Are we here? We are here. Welcome. And first thing I want to tell you is we made a post a few minutes ago that we had no internet, that we were having a struggle, may not be able to go on, but we're working around it, and we might be on. I mean, we're on now, but we might be on for good. So I'm going to just dispense with my, real quick, with my introduction here. Good afternoon. It's a special matinee edition of Tecumseh Savage basketball here on the Hub. We're coming to you live from the historic new gym here on the soft rolling hills of the Tecumseh Public School campus. I'm Jeff Thompson, and as always, I got Joe here with me, and we're listening to Savage basketball. We're watching, rather. Danny got on to me for saying listening, but we're watching.
It's easy to do for X-Radio guys.
It is. Savage basketball here on the Hub Network, Tecumseh. I want to thank you for tuning in. It's the, like I said, it's afternoon edition. We got rescheduled because of the snow on Tuesday. And we've got the Chieftains of Seminole here tonight, or this afternoon, rather. The Lady Savages come in on fire. Savage men continue to struggle, but they're finding their way. And, Joe, I'm stoked. We've got basketball.
Well, I'm my blood pressure is certainly up, Jeff. I'll put it that way. Yeah, but that always has a tendency to do that when you're struggling to get on the air.
Yeah.
The last minute. But anyway, we made it, so we'll quit talking about that. But ignore that other post that says there is no internet.
Yes.
And obviously you're watching this, there is internet, so that's good. So, yeah, glad to be here today, and glad to make up this game. It's a rivalry game here with
Well,
Seminole.
I mean, Tecumseh and Seminole's always kind of in battle of Highway 9, and,
Yep.
and in football it always tilts the Chieftain way, although Tecumseh's got a couple in the last few years from them on the gridiron. But here on the hardwood, little more even, and I am really, really ready for some Savage basketball, but especially some Lady Savage basketball. And we're just, we're, 4 minutes?
I'm going to let you carry this. I'm just going to look through. We didn't get to go through our normal checks here, so I'm going to.
Okay. You want me to talk about the sponsors here for a minute?
Yes, please, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, now I've got a list here, and you're going to have to give me just a second to flip through it. But I know the sponsors are very important. I always kind of gush over the sponsors, regardless of where you're listening to me, because they make it possible. And, obviously we're disappointed if we get to a situation. So for the sponsors, because they're, there to thank for all of this. So thank you very much. We've got immediate care of Tecumseh for the pregame checkup. Gilbert Insurance and Tag Agency. They are just as T-Town as it gets. Todd Coburn, Oklahoma Farm Bureau. Go down there and see Todd or Corey. I do business with them. They are they'll take care of you. I'm just going to leave it at that, and you'll be happy you did. Cowboys Plumbing, they're coming to my office on Monday, and let me tell you, do what? Yes, Callie and Josh. I'm gonna be excited to see you guys, because we're just going to leave it at this. It makes for a long day at the office if you need a plumber. So that's that. But looking forward to talking to them. The CPN, just a big economic machine for the local area here. Countywide and Sun newspaper, a perfect little publication if you can get past the sports writer down there. He's kind of a knucklehead sometimes, but we love him anyway, if you know who I'm talking about. Ralph's Pharmacy, I was in there today. Let me tell you about Ralph's. The entire world would be a better place if they ran it like Ralph's Pharmacy. And seriously, I'm not just saying that.
Absolutely.
Whether they spend, and I appreciate the money they spend with us, but whether they do or not, I'm a big fan of Ralph's because they just do it right.
Well, they're great people. Scott's great.
Oh, yeah.
All the staff in there is great.
Can't beat them. And it's been a long time family business. Dalton,
Absolutely.
The younger Scott's boy, is stepping in as well. So it's a great place. Brian Shirey, Farmers Insurance. I've known Brian since the day he was born. You can trust him. He's a good dude for sure. Echo Sales, Jan and Eddie Parker. If there's anybody that's more T-Town than anybody else, it might be Eddie Parker. Down at Echo Sales, they're just he's the mayor.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he is. And Jan's with the Historical Society and the Alumni Association.
Okay,
I mean,
good. Well, they're plugged in. Yeah.
they if you cut them, they bleed black and gold.
There you go.
So I mean, just good people. New Ideas Printing, great people. They're kind of new, I think, to the area, but they're coming on.
Terry and Coulter down there, appreciate those guys. And I haven't gotten back in to see them here recently, but if they're catching this, I will be back around and holler at them. But
Yes.
they're good people down there.
And we're talking about T-Towners, Berkshire Hathaway, Terry and Pam O'Rourke. I mean, they're just Tecumseh people. And Mazzio's Pizza, who doesn't love a big old slice of pizza? You know, that was one of my favorite parts about football is we always had a guy bring a pizza through.
Yeah, exactly.
If the game wasn't particularly good, there was pizza.
Good pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good stuff. And we got a minute here until tip-off. And like I said, I'm stoked. I love watching these girls play.
Well, it's been pretty exciting to watch them actually come out and establish their game, and hopefully I told Coach Gentry earlier. I said if we're here broadcasting, come on up at boys halftime, and we'll get a word with him too. So maybe we'll hear from him later on.
Well, he's been a regular fixture at our our interviews at halftime, and he's a good guy too.
Absolutely.
I've kind of been getting to know him, and some of my kids are freshly out of high school, and they speak well of him. They say he was kind of a mean gym teacher. But you got to be as a coach. I mean, if he wasn't, I think what the heck,
Hey, you got to have a system. You got to have some discipline. You got to have some rigor in that, or you're not really any good in that job. So
that is 100% true. And I think we're getting ready to do the national anthem. I guess coming up pretty quick, and I'm gonna shut up and stand up. Land of the free and the home of the brave, Joe. That just gives me chills, and I always say that's one of my very favorite songs. And I think as we go on with, some of the problems in the world, the national anthem becomes a little more special to me every time I hear it.
Absolutely, it's a great thing we still do in this country is to honor the Stars and Stripes when we start these contests. And,
absolutely, and we talk about the sponsors, but if it hadn't been for the brave young men and women that go out and fight for us, we're not going to be here in a gym being knuckleheads like we so love to be. They make that possible for us. So, they're sponsors in a way as well.
Absolutely,
so.
Absolutely. And
love those guys.
we wouldn't be doing anything close to what we're doing in this country if it wasn't for that.
No, absolutely not. So we're really, really close here. The clock is set, and they're getting ready to introduce the Savages. We have got, of course, Wilson. And Jockaway, the backcourt. And we got Boatman coming in at the third spot. And actually, interesting enough, I'm going to hold off on that. Warden come on in, and she had a huge game last time. Kind of had to maybe take it over at times, and she's one to watch. She's one that kind of all of them, but she's certainly one that you game plan for.
Well, like we said last home game, whichever one of these girls gets hot, they accentuate that. But there are several that can step up. If they don't quite have the hot hand, 3 or 4 or 5 of them actually can get a hot hand pretty easily. So
Yeah, you're right, and this is a very impressive group that he's got here, and they're kind of a dream team in their own right because they, like you say, they can any one of them can take over a game if they need to.
absolutely.
And fortunately, they don't need to that often.
Well,
they gel so well.
If you're Coach Gentry, you certainly want all of those players coming on at the same time. That makes for a dominant performance, and they can certainly do that, and defensively they can certainly do that too.
Absolutely. The Chieftains control the tip, so they have the ball first. A little turnaround jumper there from just inside the free throw line, and they brought it back out. It falls short.
And really, the only reason they got another shot at that is that it just missed everything, and the Lady Savages are ready for it to come off the rim, and it did not.
And Savages keeping that lane kind of blocked out, and they cause a turnover. And back up court goes Warden, and she passes it off to Wilson. Her shot falls a little short, so maybe just a little bit of ice from left over from earlier this week, but it'll defrost quick.
A lot of back and forth here while we kind of work out the Kings getting settled down and settled into the game. But I contend that really this is the offensive performance gets dictated from the defensive performance of the Lady Savages, and they start shutting down those lanes. It gives them some opportunities on the other end, and they control the boards. That gives them a lot of opportunity.
I believe so too. I think the defense is always going to dictate the success of the offense. Already a substitution for Seminole, just a minute in. Savages side out. Back over to Warden, who shoots from way out, not within her range at the moment. And Wilson, she attempts a shot from about the same place with about the same luck.
Feels a little more like a little bit of tournament play because you're in the middle of the afternoon. Maybe you're not quite
it does.
up to speed. Sometimes those tournaments are a little sluggish getting going because you're playing at 11 o'clock in the morning or noon or 1 o'clock or whatever, and so you're a little bit off the mark as far as time of day, and so that could be a little bit of the cold start here.
It could be. I expect it to warm up pretty quick, or the coach is going to know the reason why. And down into the low post, big pass across. And
good job. And that was a good.
Jockaway was within her range, but just rims out.
It was a nice rebound by Barry. Just couldn't turn it into anything.
And I'm going to have to admit, I have not done any homework on the Seminole Chieftains this week. I don't know yet, and I have yet to form an opinion. I always expect Lady Savages to be a big favorite, but partly that's because I'm a homer, and I'll always admit that right up front.
My established opinion so far is that they're wearing green, and I think that's correct because I don't know if I'm colorblind.
It is
or not.
green.
Okay, well, good. That's why I called it an opinion because I wasn't sure.
If you don't know yet if you're colorblind or not, you're probably not.
Well, that's good.
I mean,
that helps. That helps.
I'm not an eye doctor, but I play one on TV, so I believe they hit one of the free throws. Yes,
they did. Yes.
To the Chieftains.
That was
nice little shot by Warden. Just a nifty little move, and puts the Savages on the board.
Yeah, takes it right down the baseline there. We saw that open up.
And timeout.
Well, that nice recognition down here by Warden on the wing there. Last time she kind of pulled up like she wanted to take a look at that three-pointer, and then the baseline opened up and she dribbled right down and put it in. That's good recognition.
Yeah,
on the offensive end of the floor.
she's a star.
Yeah.
She really is. She is lots of fun to watch.
Good vision of the court, good movement away from the ball, all that stuff that it takes to get those opportunities.
And that's what I mean. Those are just the little pieces, that fit together. And there's all these gears, that have they work together like a machine. And Coach Gentry knows how to get it out of these Lady Savages.
Well, they're definitely working within their system. A nice little turnaround.
That went halfway down, and that's the kind of play you got to have from Warden, because that's gonna go in most of the time, and force a bad shot. And just like that, Savages headed back up and draws the foul.
Well, great defense on that little bit of transition for Seminole there.
She wound
hands straight up.
Right, hard off the back of the glass.
Didn't come off the ground. All the things were done right there. Hands straight up. Didn't get her body in the air to commit the foul, and it was a wild shot, and they got a transition and a foul out of it. See if they can turn that into a point or two here.
Odd, non-typical miss from Savages from the stripe, and even more so, I think, a odd miss. Two misses in a row from a Savage backcourt. Those little gals, number 1 and 2 position, rather, 0 and 1 on their jerseys, but they can hit those free throws.
Still think just not quite as warm as they'd like to be yet, and those are going to start falling.
Now, if you watch the way the Savage defense moves and protects that lane, they're just not going to give up a whole lot of dribble penetration. And just like that, Jockaway takes the ball away, waits for the traffic to pass off the glass, just like you drew it up.
Good patience, good vision coming down the court. She knew she had somebody right on her hip, let him go right past her, and put in the easy shot.
That's easy like Sunday morning right there.
On Saturday afternoon.
That's right.
Some rare penetration into the lane a little bit for Seminole.
Yeah, just a little quicker than I think Savages got caught unaware a little bit there. Warden gets back down and trades buckets with them. And I'm going to pull out this Seminole roster here, because if I don't, Danny's ultimately going to make fun of me, which he does anyway.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen either way you go. But
yeah. Yep, Alexa Rideau at the line from Seminole. Sounds a little Cajun. Rideau with an X? I don't know. She missed her second. Barry with the rebound. You like how they get it down court, and we have got a foul on a shooter.
That's going to be a
cardinal sin right there.
That's going to be a three attempts there.
A foul on number 5, Dennis, and we've got Jockaway. No, that's Wilson. She's going to hit her first. Hits her second. And if she hits her third, I mean, whether she does or not, if she hits her third like she does, that's a tough foul to give up, man.
That is tough, and that's 3 good looks at the free throw line, and that if that doesn't get you warmed up, I don't know what will there.
Absolutely. Back up court, and that just right there, it's tough to get it. I mean, not only dribble penetration, but you can't hardly pass it into the lane.
They are definitely closing those off. Good job.
That's big league play right there. Little baseline bounce pass over to Barry, and she does Barry stuff,
Absolutely. And really on both, again, I've said this about, I just like post play to begin with, but Barry, she occupies that position very well on the defensive and offensive end of the floor. And
Well, I talk about game planning for Worden, but if you don't game plan for Barry also, she's going to hurt you, you know.
absolutely, and I think that's what makes those other shooters more of a threat, is because you have that inside threat to go with it, and you have to pay attention to that. You can't just let it go unattended down there.
Yeah. Nice little shot from the elbow, rims out.
Good. And the positive thing down the court that time was still it was more than one opportunity at the basket for the Lady Savages, even though it didn't fall.
If you're getting those second chances, you're gonna be tough to beat because more often than not, those second chances are going to fall for you. Savages up by 8 points, 7 points rather, with 2 minutes to go in the first, and they are still a little cold. And a brick coming in from the south side of Shawnee by the Chieftains.
I hadn't even checked my atlas.
Yeah, where's your atlas? I mean, you're all. You should bring a third monitor with Google Earth.
I should do that. I'm just gonna bring a big old thick book atlas like my dad used to have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep in the glove compartment, which wouldn't fit in the glove compartment these days.
No. Do you remember the glove compartments when they used to open? They had cup holders.
Oh yeah,
That was the golden age right there.
I could never get the cup to stay in there when I closed it and keep it from spilling. But anyway, that's probably why they took those out.
That can be a problem, yeah. Well, that's why also, the Sonic trays used to have little hooks where you could hook it on the window, and roll your window halfway down and hook
that way it would only crack the top half of your window if it was too heavy.
Remember that on National Lampoon's Vacation?
Yeah.
Hang it on there, bust the whole thing out. All right, back
Saturday
to basketball.
afternoon,
Yeah. Well, hey, they're a little cold, so we're having to warm up too. And back up court, the Savages are going to finish this first quarter most likely with no substitutions also. Jock away from deep.
I'll tell you what, that's not going to happen very often, because if they're going to leave those completely uncontested like that, they're going to find the bottom of the net.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there's again.
Just a takeaway, and what do we have? Got Jock away on
Hold
the
that
floor.
on.
Now the Chieftains have made at least a couple, if not three, substitutions already. That foul was on number 2, Ladd. And we do have substitution in now. Gage has come in for Worden. And obviously playing for the last shot. We're down to 10 seconds in the first. Tell me, I was looking away.
Well, I think that was a 3 and second in the lane call, because I was looking at Barry there at that time, and she was kind of not as much movement down there as usual, and so I think that's what was called.
Yeah. Well, the Lady Savages lead by 10 after the first quarter here in Tecumseh. It was kind of maybe not the absolute prettiest of quarters, but Savages just doing what they do, and like that, up by 10 over the Lady Chieftains.
Well, a good first quarter, even though coming out a little bit cold on some of those other longer shots. But you get the 3-point conversion at the free throw line off that silly foul out there by Seminole beyond the arc, and that kind of got them some points on the board. Didn't hit the 3-shot. Then the 3 went down. He had a completely uncontested 3-point shot taken there, and they hit that. And so that's going to pay dividends for him later, too, because that should open it up in the middle for Barry just a little bit.
It ought to. I noticed I kind of zoomed in on Jockaway's face. She knew that was going in at the point it left her hands. I mean, I warmed up. This is my shot, and you're not going to do anything about it.
Right.
And it hit the bottom of the net. So hopefully there's more of that to come as the game goes on.
And, if you're going to leave those shots uncontested, that's what you have to do to punish the defense for that. You have to drop those shots. It's kind of I'll dare you to shoot
or outside, you can't have it both, And if the Savages can do it both ways, that's tough. Savages playing just a little bit smaller ball right now. Looks like we've got Boatman playing the number 5 spot. Barry taking a rest.
Nice takeaway there.
Yeah, it was. The Lady Chiefs is still kind of swarming the Savages. Look at that.
Nice.
How pretty is that?
That's a nice awareness of where you are under the basket and just turn and make that reverse layup right there. Nice, easy 2-pointer.
She is a star. A lot of fun to watch.
Block.
I would kind of like to say that Jockaway was set there. She obviously not the opinion of the official. Soraya Sewell at the line, and she hits her first.
So Lady Savages on a little bit of a run here, pulling that lead a little bit bigger.
And Chieftains hit both their free throws.
And that's really the only, as far as having anything uncontested, that's about all they can hope for is a good free throw where they can get some focus and on the line there and not have a Lady Savage in her face.
A nice passer, a nice catch. Warden draws the foul, so.
Yeah, I like that small ball by Coach Gentry posting up Warden down there underneath. Like we said in previous games, she can certainly play that position. She's got all the chops down there to do it.
Well, she's, really good 3, can play on either end of the court. And, of course, she's as good as you're going to see here watching high school basketball.
Absolutely.
And she fits in that 4 slot, I would say.
Well, I thought that one went in, but I could have been.
We didn't hear Danny's call, so it did.
I guess it did.
Yeah.
Got the hands on her just a little too much right there.
Well, sometimes you can get away with that. That was kind of in that gray area that you probably should call a foul, but a lot of times it's not. And she's kind of rough on them, and that's just what that's what the bigs do.
Yeah, that evens up the team fouls at 5 apiece.
Got Barry back in. And just like that, she picks one up going over the back there.
Yeah, the only problem there with that on Barry, I saw that she had her hand on her back just a little bit as she went up, and that's probably always going to get you a foul called.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of ball from here, but got to run just a little bit.
Yeah, who did they call that on? Shockaway? Oh, no, it's on Barry.
Well, and
that's 2 quick ones on Barry.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't know if that's 3 total or 2 total, but, 3. Golly.
32, yeah. So
got to set her down.
She's going to have to take a seat. You don't want to get, especially with,
It's. I mean, I
in
think
the second quarter, too. Goodness.
Savages are got to be pretty heavily favored here. But at the same time, you don't want to take that for granted and leave your star center out there with 3 fouls before the half. We're not even halfway through the second quarter, just 2 minutes in.
No, absolutely. She'll probably have to rest a little bit in the third quarter, too, but you certainly want to save her if needed, coming to the fourth quarter. And
I don't see. Let me look here. Interesting. We got Lila Meeks coming in. I don't see Sammy Schweigert over there today. Actually, she may be on the bench. Still in her warm-ups.
goes to the drop.
I'm curious to see. Meeks just a little bit deeper than Coach Gentry typically goes in the rotation. We've seen her play some pretty nice JV ball. And that was out on the Chiefs.
Seminole trying to put a little more man pressure on the Lady Savages and disrupt some passing lanes a little bit.
I kind of thought she had a hand on the ball, but maybe not. She might have got a fingertip on it there. The official didn't see it. And we've got a Savage timeout, I believe. Probably a good time for that.
Yeah, 30-second timeout there. Another good chance here to mention some of the sponsors. Really appreciate Suzanne Gilbert and Gilbert Tag Agency, of course, right here in Seminole, or excuse me, in Tecumseh. That was a out-of-towner mistake. I apologize about that. I slipped that one completely. But all of these sponsors here from Tecumseh are very important to us. Again, Ralph's Pharmacy. You can't say enough about those guys. I mean, those are just you just know when you go in there. Those are great people.
Yeah, I mean, it's hometown. When you go in, and we've talked about that before. But that's what that's what I like. I like to be here, and I like to shop local and do business local as often as I can. And
good defense right there.
Local as it gets, yeah. She's going to try to sell just a little bit of contact there, but Zebras aren't buying. Deep attempt from Wilson, who I don't think.
Look at that. Oh, gosh. That's just good defensive rotation, even on that rebound they got away from him there. I mean, still, to disrupt that for the Lady Savages was really, really nice.
And I think she traveled with that.
I believe the official agrees with you on that one.
I find we don't agree a lot, but we did that.
Take them when you can get them. That's
right. Deep shot attempt from Wilson, and it kind of side rims out. And she had an open look, but the rest of her offense wasn't set up yet. And that looked like a lot of ball, Joe.
Boy, I tell you, she made a decision way out beyond the three-point line to leave her feet, took her 2 steps, and really didn't know where she was going with the ball. She's probably lucky that got called a jump. Did they call it a foul? No, I thought they called a jump. But that's a foul.
Huh? Coach Gentry, the official over there, trying to work it out, but I don't think they come to terms.
She was in real trouble when she left her feet. And
It kind of makes you wonder if that was a super smart play or just a lucky play, kind of a wild lucky play. Savage is back up court with it and moving the ball. He's got to be patient. And, you know, Joe, it's impressive to watch. It's a lot of fun to watch the way they pass it around. They're looking, they're thinking, they're doing the smart thing. And it looks like Meeks gets stripped down there, and I don't know. That's the first jump ball, so possession arrow goes to the Chieftains.
well, that possession, that trip down the floor, the part that was impressive to me, I was watching the movement away from the ball and how much it was by the Lady Savages.
And you're watching, they've got that lane locked down again. And it's tough to get it in there. And you think sometimes, hey, they've got to pass in, and it just the defense is tough inside the lane. That was out off of a Savage.
Tough foul there.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was maybe the first on Warden there.
They're still in the bonus here, not the
Well,
double
they're
bonus
calling
yet.
two now.
Well, it's a 1-on-1 shot. I think it was on the floor. It's going to be in the bonus though. That's why they're going to get the shot here. And she hits it. So they are certainly using these free throws to their advantage, creeping back in just a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of sticking around.
Oh, boy.
Try to box out, and Meeks is just not quite aggressive enough to get that rebound, but as luck would have it, Lady Chieftains walk with the ball, so ultimately Savage wind up bringing it up court.
Just a little more hustle there would have secured that, but a little good luck for the Lady Savages.
Yeah.
Seminole looking a little more aggressive on defense, trying to collapse to the ball in the middle, disrupt some of that stuff, and it's had a pretty decent effect here.
It's having some success for sure. And foul on number 2, Ladd, so that's at least a couple on her. Savages throw it in. They just they're going to be okay to take their time and get a shot, get into halftime, hopefully with somewhere around a 10-point lead. Nice pass out there to Wilson, and she puts it up. Just does not fall. I'm not sure Wilson has had a field goal yet this afternoon. Do you recall, Joe?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I'm not 100% sure Wilson has had a field goal yet.
Well, she's several attempts, but just one they haven't gone down yet. She's again, kind of what we talked about, a little cold, but still to be up by 7 points, and Wilson's cold. You may be in great shape later in this game.
Yeah. Shot by Ward, nothing but net.
That was a ways out there too. That one was.
It was way out there in somewhere around Brooksville.
I was waiting for the geographical reference. Okay, there we go.
I try to make where they shoot it from on the court relative to where we are. Sometimes I'm better than others.
I'm sure there's a method to your madness. I was just waiting for it.
There's madness for sure. Back up court and of course, and they're homers just like we are, except for the other home. But the Seminole crowd not real big on that particular foul. There was contact. I think
a little bit.
Warden might have been a little out of control at that point anyway.
Well, I think
nonetheless she's going to the line.
I think there's still some Saturday morning. Well, it's not even Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon.
Well, you know,
getting out of the way here a little bit. Sorry.
It is. I'm just glad we tipped off at 1, so I didn't have to leave my Saturday morning cartoons and me Lucky Charms.
Yeah, that's. As long as you had your bowl of cereal, I guess we're okay.
Yeah.
Breakfast of champions. All right.
It is. It is. So Savage is on top by a dozen.
Oh, nice.
And nice sequence of events there by the Lady Chiefs. Just maybe caught the Lady Savages looking the other way.
Well, if I'll tell you, that play was possible because Barry's sitting over on the bench, and then because that lane was wide open for that cutter to come down through there. And that just doesn't happen when Barry's in there.
No. But she's got to stay there. They can survive with her there for now. You know, I'm going to say this very low, and one time there was a lot of ball on that.
Yeah, there was. But
I mean, I'm happy to get the foul. You know, and I'm a homer. I'll say that every time. But that was a tough call, depending on your perspective.
Well, sometimes it pays to be the aggressor in those situations because you get that call a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and if you'll notice, Warden got a similar call last time down. And I don't know. I mean, I think with Jockaway there may have been a little bit less contact as well. But either way, those kind of calls, they go both ways. It comes out in the wash.
Maybe Savages get their lead back to kind of what they were accustomed to.
Well, that took a Savage bounce right there. We've gotten a little deeper into the Savage bench, and I have not mentioned that. We do have Chloe Stevenson out there. We see her periodically, not a lot. And into the passing lane they go, and Chieftain Big goes and puts 2 in.
A little takeaway there. That gets the lead down under 10. It's again into the half here. Good drive, good thought there.
Stevenson going to go to the line.
I tell you what, I like the aggressiveness of penetrating with the basketball off the edge there and coming in because it makes the defense react. And typically, you're going to end up at the line at least, with something like that.
Well, it's interesting to see the aggression because we've seen Stevenson in. She's a junior. She come off the bench. We've not seen her a lot though, and she comes in and she's driving to the lane like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and it's up to you to do something about it. And she gets 2 free throws out of it.
Yeah, she's kind of making a point there, and she makes 2 points with that play. And
that one misses absolutely everything. Going to half, Savages up on top by 11. So, really, I love to watch the Lady Savages play basketball, but maybe not one of their better first halves.
Well, a little tough in some aspects, especially from the field, just shooting there a little bit, maybe a little bit cold, especially in the first quarter. But still, if you've come out 25 to 14 and you're not firing on all cylinders, I mean, you're in pretty good shape. And
well, it's all about Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're exactly right because I don't think this is as tough of a matchup. I don't think it should be as tough of a matchup for the Savages as it is. And you might see them come out in the second half and kind of run on away with it. But, heck, 11 points in high school basketball, not too shabby.
I think this score would be different at this point too. If Barry would have been on the bench, I think those 3 fouls early into the second quarter and sitting her down probably opened it up and made that feel a little more comfortable for us.
I believe you're right, and that left Savages a little bit exposed down there on the baseline. And Barry got 2 in a row. I mean,
Yeah, just real quick.
I think they're less. Certainly less than a game minute apart. But golly, it was quick.
Absolutely, and they're kind of, we call them probably kind of cheap fouls there sometimes, but that happens. And the thing about the Lady Savages is, even with Berry being taken out of the game in that way, they still had ways to adjust and move the personnel around, and still had an inside presence, and they still were able to do maybe not as much on defense as they had been, but on offense they certainly were able to keep the pace up. So
Yeah, no, you are 100% right there, and it's just kind of next man up mentality. And Meeks will get her feet under, and we're going to see her more in the second half, no doubt. And she'll be tough down low because she's part of this program, and that's what Coach Gentry prescribes.
absolutely.
You want to go to break, or what are we doing here?
Let's take a little break here, and
Cool. You've been watching the Hub.
absolutely. Thanks, Jeff.
Hubbing it up. welcome back. And we are back, correct? I don't know why I always question that. You know, we've got 40 seconds to go in the halftime here, so getting ready to start some basketball. And Savages, Lady Savages have got to come out. These Chieftains, they think that they still have a chance. And, you know, only trailing by 11 points, mathematically they do. Savages have got to come out and put an end to that notion right away. First thing interesting I see, Barry coming back out to start the third quarter.
Well, absolutely, and that she's going to have to be a little more careful in this third quarter, I think. Coach may say, you know what, we can handle it, go in there and play the same way you do.
Yeah.
But that's going to make the defense a little tougher. But she's going to have to be careful with things here in the third quarter.
Yes, absolutely. Chieftains trying to, they do get the first bucket on first attempt of the second half. Savages up 25-16, and we've got Jockaway coming up court. Over to Warden. And they've got that inside to Barry, but kick it back out. Nice shot from the top of the key. Count them, all three of them from Warden. And, you know, if she just kind of doing a little bit of Warden stuff, but not a whole lot yet. So
maybe they just don't like the other end of the court.
Maybe so. Maybe so. And we've got a foul. And all I heard him say was 0, but the only one out there with a 0 is Wilson. And she's so small, how could she possibly foul anybody?
Just doesn't seem right, does it?
No, it don't. I kind of feel like they're picking on her, and I don't like it. The Chiefs turn it over. Didn't 100% see what happened there, but back up court go the Savages, so no harm in one foul.
Oh, nice. And, man, she'd have caught that cleanly. She had a good look there, but it collapsed on her.
She was a little off balance when she caught it. Now the possession arrow went to the Savages, which I'm not 100% sure that was even tied up. Right into Warden, doing what Warden does, and just like that, that was easy.
Well,
too easy.
Made her motion to the basket, was open cleanly, and took the shot right off the pass. And
you remember on if you ever watch a sports animal back in the day, or listen to them rather, and Barry and one. You remember they had a character as Mike Steely, but they had a character called Steely's uncle. You know, I think he was too easy. That was too easy for Warden right there. You remember that?
I slightly.
You know, old man. You know,
but I like it when you do it.
Too easy. You know how old everything was tougher back in the old days. You know, and Barry going to the line though. So.
Well, Barry, a good heads-up play. Again, let me tell you, she makes a difference being in the game, and it just gives them that extra option down there underneath. And she came out and wanted to prove that right away.
Yes, she did. And you know, if you had more in-depth statistics, which I don't even know if they keep in high school basketball, but the plus-minus has got to be better when she's on the court.
Well, I know definitely for sure that the offensive and defensive rebounding is better.
That was pretty. It just didn't fall. And cleaning up the mess was who else? Jaden Wilson.
Yeah, and again, this is where the Lady Savages excel. Here again, right there is where they excel.
Jockaway, and a good time for a green timeout.
I think the message was clearly at halftime is that you guys are up by 11, but that isn't good enough.
Yeah.
You guys ought to be up by a whole lot more.
Well, I mean, one of the first things I would have to say in one way or another, you are so much better. What are you doing out there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just
21's a little more like it, isn't it?
It is. Just like that. What did we go into halftime? What was the score? 25 to 9? No, to 16? 25-16 going into half?
Sounds good to me. I can't remember either.
Well, I mean, just all of a sudden.
It was a 9-point game, though, yes.
All of a sudden, it's ballooned to 21.
21 points.
Yeah.
But, you know, just look at, so now, I'm going to stick with my Saturday afternoon theory here because they come back out in the third quarter. They played a half, kind of and I would say still sluggish at that half anyway. But they come out here to the third quarter, and now they look like a little more energetic. They look like the Lady Savages that we like to see.
Yes.
And more energy flying to the ball.
Foul real quick there on Wilson. You know, heck, these gals may have still been asleep at 10 o'clock. Got to brush the sleep out of your eyes and get out here and play some basketball.
Well, and sometimes, you know, you see that a lot in tournament play when these games are earlier in the daytime. It's sometimes a little more difficult to get everything functioning correctly and in sync the way it should be, you know.
You know, I love sports a lot. Obviously, or I would be here doing what I'm doing, but nothing should ever be played before noon.
That's sure tough when you do have to do that.
Well, it is, and it happens. I've been to wrestling tournaments. I've been involved in Little League for years, and you know, basketball. It's just it happens, but there's something weird about it. And Jockaway gets into the passing lane, and she's going to lay it up off the glass, just like you like it.
That is the type of play that you're used to seeing from Jackaway and Warden and Wilson.
Yes,
everybody.
1 and 2 and 3 as well. A lot of times, the hustle like that changes the entire tempo and a lot of times outcome of the ball game. Little double clutch there by Warden. She don't care if there's people in the lane in her way. She's going to get what she came there for. And if she gets the foul, great. If she doesn't, that's okay too. And Savage defense causes a walk.
Well, and she thought she was going to get an easy foul there, but she was kind of already leaning into her, and said, she kind of let her go and let her take that step, thus the turnover. But the Lady Savages come out in a whole different gear here in the third quarter and really making a difference.
Yes, and that, you know, that's back to your old philosophy of the third quarter. Sometimes it's the defining quarter of the ball game, and honestly, if that is true, not good news for these Chieftains.
No. And I'll tell you right there, Barry, that was textbook turnaround, dumping in 2 points for Barry down the other end of the court. I mean, you want your post player to catch that and whenever put the ball on the floor, turn right around and put it off the board into the hole, and that was exactly what she did.
That's what a quality center does. That's what your number 5 should be doing for you. Did she step out?
Well, I couldn't see that.
That's the only thing that could have happened. Did the whistle come from up here on this end?
Yes, it did.
Because the official over on the far side couldn't have seen it. Has to be what happened there. Into Boatman, down to Warden.
Oh, nice
and
pass.
Off the glass. Man, she got the foul, but the shot did not fall.
It's a good look. Man, you know, I'll always tell you, especially in basketball games, the third quarter is so important and how you come out and attack that third quarter, the adjustments you make. And if the adjustments were Coach just went in and poured a bunch of water on everybody's faces, splashed them with a bunch of water.
If that's all it took, then, you know, that's okay too.
Because they are fully awake now, that's for sure. Good defense there.
You know, and when the Lady Chieftains are getting into the lane, which is seldom, they're not getting off a good shot.
No, and again, good look to Barry, right in the right spot. Nice job right there, being in the right spot and knowing where she was.
Yeah.
Caught the ball, knew she needed to step back away a little bit and put it off the glass.
And then another Seminole timeout.
I mean,
I believe.
Now,
what they did not. It was official timeout. What's going on?
Maybe is it a blood timeout? Maybe
I don't know.
Something going on.
Anyway.
Not quite sure. It's like an injury of some sort, though. Possibly.
Yeah, they're tending to a young lady down there at the end of the bench. So, and that is number 12. I'll tell you who it is here in just a second. Soraya, I guess. Sewell. Looked like it might be kind of looking at her knee. Not sure, but she's going to be okay, I believe. and that's kind of hustle that you got to see right there, and that starts with. It always starts with your 1 and 2 with Jockaway and Wilson. It did not result in a Seminole turnover, but it upsets and disrupts the flow, which seems to be tough enough to establish for the ladies in green as it is.
What I was getting ready to say a little bit ago was that the defense for the Lady Savages has obviously come back up to the level that we're used to seeing them play, because only 18 points now. They were, 15 points, 16 points.
16, so
they
two or 3
points.
points, yeah.
And that's it in the third quarter. And that, I'm just telling you, Lady Savages, whatever woke them up at halftime, they are certainly did its job. Another board there by Lady Savages. Oh, nice
For the
cut.
cutter and foul.
Nice
She's
cut.
going to go to the free throw line every time on that kind of thing. She knows how to get down there and draw a foul.
Well, that's good recognition of what the defense was doing there. Just saw that open up and immediately put her hand in the air and went right to the bucket.
Remember KD's old rip move, and he could.
Oh, yeah.
He made people so mad. And it was kind of a cheap move, it really was. But with that being said, she can get up there and draw that contact and get to the line.
Just a whole different energy here in the third quarter from these Lady Savages again. And I'm telling you, it's translated into vision on the court and opportunities at the bucket, opportunities at the free throw line. Everything has come to life for the Lady Savages right now.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I'm going to ask him, but I'm going to get the coach speak version. It'd be interesting to know what Coach G said to the girls at halftime.
He might drop a nugget or two of information in there for you. You never know. But,
you never know. He's I've quickly become a fan of not only this program but of him as a coach.
He just he uses his personnel very well. He understands his players very well, and he knows what their strengths and weaknesses are and how to use them in a game.
Oh, that's number 4 while we were talking. That's number 4 on Barry. So they're going to play a little smaller. We've got, was that number 2 that come in there again? Stevenson, Chloe.
Well, I'm telling you, she did the damage while she was in there. So that third quarter, she
makes a huge difference.
Turned
Savages up by just almost 30 points now. At some point, something sort of along the lines of finish them off had to come out of his mouth at half. Another check out Gage, nice little cut down there.
Nice backdoor cut.
That can be overwhelming for another team.
Well, they can't keep doing what they're doing on defense because that's going to be open all day long. They're just going to keep doing that to them until they shut it down.
And that fell on Gage. Yep. But the Lady Savages have got a deep bench.
There's no arguing that point at all. I mean, and really.
And they're short a player today.
Exactly.
She swaggered a lot, and she's out today. Don't know why, but she is not playing today, and it's just next man up.
And again, Coach Gentry, knowing who his players are, he uses them expertly there. In the right role at the right time. And nice.
You can't draw it up any better than that.
No, she got great position, got on the backside of her, kind of used that block-out technique to just create space there, and she dumped it right over inside.
Kind of lobbed it down in there, and if it's in the vicinity of Warden, good things are going to happen usually.
And that's really a great example of how what the Lady Savages do when Barry's on the bench. They can create from different positions, and there it is again.
Look at it. I mean, I'm going to say it again. Too easy.
it's like taking candy from a baby down there.
It
That's
is.
for sure.
And that's kind of more like what I would have expected to see in the first half. But cartoons are over now, and it's time for basketball. And Lady Savage is going to be up by 40 points before we know it.
Maybe they just went into halftime and took a nap, finished that off, and woke up.
Maybe so. Woke up fresh.
Yeah.
So whatever they did, it worked. We've got Meeks back in. Warden's taking a little bit of a rest there. You know, such a system and such a team effort. They get in and they play the same basketball. You know, there are starters, and they're starters for a reason. But, you know, they've got these ladies coming off the bench, and they hardly miss a beat.
Well, I think that goes back to the system they're playing within. I mean, they understand the offense very well. They're well coached by Coach Gentry. They know exactly what their role is, and they know how to execute it. And, man, offensively and defensively, you can't really say there's, as a team, there's a weak spot, there.
No, you cannot. Looks like they're playing for the last point here, or the last shot here, rather. And, you know, we have three, actually. We've got four out there on this floor right now that are not typical starters. The only starter weekend or night in and night out on the floor is Jockaway right now.
Yeah, and it's at this point it's hard to tell the difference.
It's very difficult,
because the team is still executing exactly what they need, doing what they need to do every trip down the floor. So,
well, I was going to say, with your starting point guard and four reserves, you can win a lot of games with that group right there. A whole lot of games.
Absolutely.
Oh, Danny playing a little Van Halen over there.
He's in an 80s mood today, isn't he?
He is.
Oh,
huge pass. She reeled it in, put it up, and man, that would have been huge if that would have went down. After three, like you say, that is the big quarter. A lot of times it was tonight, or today rather. What real quick math tells me 32 points.
Absolutely, and that went from 9 points to 32 points in one quarter. And again, seeing what the Lady Savages did there in that third quarter were the Lady Savages we expected to start with this afternoon. But
30-7, is that what the Savages won the third quarter?
That's right. So
hey, I'm a math guy, by the way.
You do accounting, and I'm proud of you, Jeff.
I appreciate that.
Live on the air.
I always try to make extra careful, that I'm right.
And if you'd like your taxes to come out like that, come down and see Jeff.
That's exactly
he's right there. He'll do him in his head for you right there on the spot.
It's a little more expensive if I have to do it in my head. It's cheaper if I use my calculator.
Just ask for the calculator discount.
Yes, exactly. The 10-key discount. Back in school, I went to school at East Central down at Ada, and we did everything. I mean, they allowed us calculators. We did everything on paper. I wouldn't do 4 returns a year if we had to use paper. Golly.
Slow you down just a little.
Yes, it would.
That was always my argument about calculators and math in school, but they didn't listen to me back then either.
Yeah. What are the chances you're going to be caught out in a serious situation without one?
Only if I'm trapped at the Thunderdome for, maybe a couple of weeks. I might not have a calculator.
There you go. I'll give you a little word to the wise here. If you ever go into your accountant's office and you can't find a calculator, you probably ought to back on out.
Probably ought to move out.
So got foul number 4 there on Wilson. Kind of had a tough night. But, you know, in the greater scheme of things, like we've said multiple times, 1 or 2 of them, or heck, even sometimes 4 of them can have a tough night, and they've always got somebody that's going to be able to step up.
Well, one, you know, that team is working within a system, which we've talked about, and they know the system very well. 2, they're all very individually good athletes anyway, and so it's not much for another one to say, it's my turn to step up,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, you know.
Exactly. Big cross-court pass from, I don't know if that's from Barry to, was it Barry to Wilson? Man, that's just right there. Another one by Warden.
Seminole has no answer now for what they're seeing from these Lady Savages.
Can't you just imagine collectively that Lady Chieftains team is saying, golly.
Yeah, you might even try to say we hung with them there for the first 2 quarters, but then
I don't know. That's so disappointing when you hang with a team early and then they just run on off and you can't see nothing but taillights in the second half. I mean, it just that false hope is tough, man.
Pretty disheartening, yeah.
It is. It is.
Nope.
So both free throws fall for the Chieftains. And a non-rattled Lady Savage team just goes back up and does their thing. Back to business. You know, Warden has no fear at all because she was clearly outsized 2-1 down there under the basket. She don't care.
Absolutely. She felt the defender right on her hip there, and she did exactly what she needed to, is step back, clear the lane, and just go up and take the shot. And that's good post play.
Kind of like, you know, they say or say about the Honey Badger. They don't care. She has no fear.
Boy, all the way from tax accountant to taxidermy, that's pretty good.
That's true. Yeah, that's another word to the wise. If you get your taxes done by a taxidermist, that could be a problem.
Maybe that was my problem. I don't know.
It may have been. If you walk in and see more than one animal on the wall.
Well, that's just almost insult to injury now, because everywhere on the floor is opened up now. Where the bucket was a little cold in the first half, it's not anymore.
Yeah. Well, and Savage took it away again down there, and there's Jocko. Let's go up court again. And to Barry and down to Warden.
Oh, a rare miss.
With her own rebound, and draws the foul.
That is actually the worst that the Lady Savages have looked down the court in a quarter and a half for sure. But, I mean, you know, that was just almost, again, it was a little too easy. And
yeah. Well, it can get a little monotonous, I guess. And Warden gets the inbound pass, puts it up, draws the foul again.
I'll tell you, a quick release by Warden. One of the things about her that's really good and special about her is that she catches and shoots right off that pass. She doesn't bother. She doesn't need to put it on the floor. It never touches the floor. Yeah. She knows exactly. She's very decisive. Knows exactly what she's going to do, and she gets where her hands touch the ball, and up it goes.
And a rare double miss. But, you know, back to Warden, it's kind of like John Wayne used to say. It's not always about being fast or even being accurate. It's about being willing. And she's confident in her ability, and she's willing to put it up.
Absolutely.
And, of course, her being fast and accurate doesn't hurt either.
Well, that's always a bonus.
Yes, it is.
Good defense down there again.
Just tough defense, and results in another Warden thing down on the other end.
Again, great vision of the court, knowing what's open, and aggressiveness, take it right to the hole.
And I didn't notice who threw that up court to her. It was over.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't see
right in front of your board there. Yep. they turned it over and passed it to her, and she goes up, and she's in a little bit of traffic, but she knows when to put it up.
Well, I'd say that's a rare, even a three-point attempt from Seminole, actually, you know, and they haven't put many of those up, and kind of see why there.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to Randy Gray, our camera operator over here tonight. He's working under some duress, some conditions that aren't as favorable as you'd like. You know, he's kind of running the camera without any immediate feedback. We're kind of having to do a little workaround for him here, but doing a great job. And I'm just going to tell you, if you don't have somebody that knows what they're doing on the camera, it'll look like it very often.
Be tough,
but,
yeah.
He does a great job, so I appreciate Randy very much.
Oh, Randy, he's a team player.
Absolutely. Does a lot behind the scenes to make all this work, I can tell you.
It really is.
Tecumseh loyal guy through and through. He couldn't.
Yeah, Randy's not always been around here, but from day one he was a T-Towner.
Absolutely. But Jeff, I would say this is more what we expected to see out of
it
the
really
Savages
is
today.
You know, it's way overused, but that old saying, "The tale of two halves," applies here a lot because I never was, even early in the first quarter, I wasn't super worried about it, but I just thought, golly, why are they letting them stick around? And they are one bucket away from a 40-point lead now.
Absolutely, and that again, that's really all about the third quarter.
Yeah.
It's early into this fourth quarter, and I mean, but I talk about aggressive and execution and all that good stuff. That is what the third quarter was for the Lady Savages.
It was, and Gage goes back to the line, I suspect. Little gal here from Seminole, I'm going to tell you her name. Andrea Tagg. Looks like she might have got poked in the eye or something, but she's okay now. You know, Savages have missed a few free throws this afternoon.
Well, they have, and they.
I mean, not super bad, but.
No, but with the exception, when you have a 30, 40-point lead, you know, you can afford to miss a couple if there's any time.
Yeah.
But you really never want to see that as a coach. You always want those to go.
And Gage splits the difference, and we've got a newbie in here, Alicia Permeter, and she ripped a nice tray down here in the JV game a couple weeks ago. You remember that? We talked about. I mean, she's a baller.
Well, it's obviously a good chance to get some of these younger players in and get a little experience on the hardwood in a game, especially a rivalry type game. But not that it's the score reflects that necessarily, but still good experience and a little bit of time in the mix here, learning, executing these plays.
Yes,
here,
you know,
here
you
in the
can't.
middle of the fourth quarter.
Of course, you know, JV is huge, but you just can't beat these varsity minutes when you can get them. You can't replicate that. And down to Boatman, she was blocked. And I agree that was pretty clean. She's wanting to call timeout. I don't know. Did you see her?
I did, but
I'm not sure.
I was going to say there, you know, Boatman. Now, the only thing I would probably critique that catch and shoot was she turned back outside to make that shot and gave the defender a little more time to get there. If she would have turned inside and gone towards the basket, that may have resulted in a foul instead of a blocked shot. So she kind of gave the defender a little bit of room and time, to make that play.
So back on the other end, the foul's on Gage. And want to give a shout out. He's probably not going to hear it, but I see her dad, Rick Gage, sitting right over there. On the back behind the scores table. I've known Rick. He's a local guy too.
Yep.
Man, I've just known him since the middle 70s at least. And who do we have at the line here? That is Sharia Dennis.
Oh, my goodness.
Golly.
Oh.
That was a tough
one.
That's a tough miss, and I thought I thought Stevenson was going to put it up from outside and saw a higher percentage shot. We got some subs coming in for Tecumseh, and let's see who we got here. 24, Lila Meeks, which she's been in a couple times tonight, and 44, no, 45 rather. Kiera Stalin. What was Stalin or Stalin? Have we talked about this?
I don't
There's
recall
two
the
L's. But outside of Eastern Europe, Stalin is not a particularly common name.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I digress. Gage makes room, puts it up, and just almost goes in there.
Good look there for Gage.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice look, everything but the finish. She's going to bring it back up court again. And she is possibly maybe the most seasoned player we have out here so far, because we've got 5 reserves out right now, but Gage, we see her a lot more.
I'm going to make that point on that catch and shoot down there again. Good step in towards the basket, right off the board, nice shot. That's what you want to see your post play almost every time they catch the ball down there like that.
And they miss everything but everything there. Sometimes best just to let it go. Back up court, that's Stevenson. And Stalin puts it in. And it's interesting if you watch that, it's almost like the ball rolled up over the rim.
It is kind of,
she hits it straight on, and it just has enough.
Like it had claws on it. It just grabbed itself and pulled itself over, Oop.
And one from deep there, she shot that from the outskirts of Seminole, kind of where the new high school is there. Does not fall.
Oh. Let me just say this about post play down there again, because when you watch somebody like Barry, who's got the experience on the court, and she can take that drop step and put it right in the bucket. Listen, that is, just because it's close, doesn't make that an easy shot. You, as a post player, have to spend time in the gym making those shots where it's almost
shoot that
natural.
over and over again. It's
repetition,
muscle memory,
yep.
And you can, honestly, there's a lot to be learned from watching somebody like Barry. Because she knows how to do it right, for sure.
Well, and it's doing the basics, right? It's doing the simple things well, and that's what makes you a good player. It's not,
And nice shot there. Is that Meeks? Sure was, Lila Meeks.
I tell you, she's had a pretty good presence in this game today.
She has. She's had some quality minutes and been very important. And these minutes are important to her because they're going to need her from time to time, and she's got to get those. Got to get that experience. Savages waiting for the final shot. They're up by 43 points.
And 70 points in a high school ladies basketball game is a significant number, that's for sure.
And you can play what ifs, and there's really no need. But if they had played the same game in the first half as they did in the second half, they may have had 100 points.
Well, that could have been very easily. Another repeat of that third quarter, and that's a bunch of points on the board for the Lady Savages. So.
Yes, it is. Yes,
nice
it
game,
is.
Nice game.
Just absolutely blew the doors off the Lady Chiefs, but we've got a reset, and we've got the varsity men coming out next.
Now, did you told us between games we might have a special guest?
Yes, we do, and we're all familiar with him, but that's the only teaser I'm going to give. He'll be down here in a few minutes, I think.
All right, stay tuned. Find out who it is.
Welcome back. We're here in T-Town. We've got some varsity men's basketball getting ready to tip off, and I've got my cord hung up around my microphone. Here we are. I'm going to take a drink of water here.
The starting lineup for the Chiefs.
Go ahead.
I had too many M&Ms. I had to have some water there. We've got the starting lineups, and let me tell you that girls' game was a lot of fun to watch, especially in that second half. And I believe we've got Coach Gentry coming up here at halftime. And we still do have that special guest. I talked to him. He was kind of tied up, but he's got he's supposed to. We're going to try to fit them both in at half.
Good.
So
All right. Good.
we'll see what we can do here. And I've got a Savages roster here also. Yes, I do. Okay. So we got starting five for the Savages coming out.
And now the starters for your Tecumseh Savages. Number 4, Brady Overstreet. Number 12.
We got Brady Overstreet, and we've got number 12, the freshman. We have seen him play quite a bit this year. Number 14, Jace Edwards.
25,
Marquand Crush.
number 44,
And Keegan Plumley.
Head coach for the Savages, Brian Edwards.
Saw out of the corner of my eye one of the girls down there doing a flip. It looked like she landed on her back on that last part.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, I saw her sliding, and I don't know if that was intentional or not, but only way I could do a flip like that is if I got hit by a car or something, so. And there's zero chance I'd wind up on my feet.
Well, there's not much traffic in the gymnasium, but
No,
if some comes by, I'll try to shove you out in front of one next time.
appreciate that.
Least I could do. It's the least I could do.
Savages control the tip. Savages are able to move the ball around a little bit here, start off, and looking for some dribble penetration is Overstreet, falls a little short, and Chieftains clear the board. And one and done are the Chieftains as well. Overstreet brings it back up court.
Nice rebound there. Get up high for that one.
Yeah.
Overstreet to bring it down.
And shot from way out by Warden. Back up court go the Chieftains. Savages got that 2-3 zone. We got a big old guy playing low post. We'll see how effective he is. Now they were able to get some dribble penetration and put the ball in, so Chieftains draw first blood here today.
Now they do have a pretty big inside presence down there. I've got to say he's got to be at least 6'5" or so, maybe a little more than that.
Yeah, he's a big guy. And a heck of a nice shot there by Edwards.
Edwards kind of hoping to get the contact there. He didn't, but he got the shot to go down, so
it all worked.
Oh, let's see.
He's going to be tough to stop down low.
Kind of took a bad angle at that shot. He had a lot of advantage going into his shot, but kind of took himself out of it by getting under the basket there a little bit. Drew the foul, I guess. This would also almost be a dunk from where he is.
Yeah, it would. And,
not quite.
As a 5 often will, he missed his first free throw. And second was a brick as well, so not always a bad deal. That worked out. Savages made money on that one.
Absolutely. They can kind of settle into their offense here. Seminole
Overstreet
playing.
certainly got handles. I hope they don't start shooting from way downtown early.
Seminoles kind of pressing with a man-to-man there a little bit. Man, wide open underneath there, but
From the free throw line, a pretty good shot, does not fall. And just one and done. And, they've got like a stretch four there. He is a beast also. I mean, he's a big guy.
yeah, it's a big power forward position, yeah. Oh, that'll wake you up.
I don't think Savage is expected to get that rebound to be there. It bounced off a couple of them. And as luck would have it, the Chieftains gathered it and scored. Back out to the freshman, and he rims out as well. Chieftains have numbers and draw the foul.
Well, that's when you leave your feet like that and you're still kind of pursuing the shooter, that's likely to happen to you. A little bit of a reach in there, got him on the hand.
Yeah, they'll call that almost every time.
But man, gave him a good clean shot. Look at the basket too when you did that, and it gets and resulted in the three-point play there.
Yes, it did, and you give up three there, and that's all for, like you say, coming off your feet there, and they're going to call that every time, especially these officials here today. They must have brand new shiny whistles in there. Excited to use them. A lot of fouls in that girls' game. Savage has got to be on that ball when it's even vaguely loose there. You can't let it bounce around there. It's not pinball that they're playing there.
Aggressive defense by Seminole.
Well, and Overstreet gets stripped. Savages get back down there and at least disrupt the play. It is out off of Tecumseh. So possession remains with the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got the foul called there. He really had nowhere to go with that ball.
No. You know, it would take some courage to try to plant yourself with him coming.
Yeah, there's some big guys there that you got to stand in front of.
He's not going to hit his free throw either. That old Kenny Hatcher
You like that?
in.
You're gonna, yeah. I was gonna say that's your favorite player.
Oh, I like to watch him play. I do. So gets one of the two. Back up court goes Overstreet. And do we have a, again, caught looking down at my roster, but was he trying to jack a tray there?
Well, I was correcting the score, so I missed that.
I think he was. Yeah, he's holding up. There's 3 shots coming. And if the coach's son can't hit free throws.
Well, you put some pressure on him there. I was like, I don't know what.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, there's 2 of the 3, yeah.
I didn't say that he can't, but I said if he can't. It looks like he's going to hit all 3 of them. So heck of a deal. I mean, I'm sure Dad has him out shooting free throws when we ain't got nothing better to do at the very least.
Well,
Heck of a drive to the basket there.
If you were to miss the free throws, that would be more than a halftime speech you'd get at home, I'm sure.
Yes, it would. It certainly would. That was Braylon Jefferson that made that last point for the Chiefs, and you've got number 33, Miguel Conley clearing the board.
Oh. There's a good example, Jeff, of Hatcher there. If he would have just stood his ground, I think he would have drawn the charge on that. But he kind of shied away from taking the contact there at the end, and I think that's what got the foul.
Second guessed it, yeah. And he's a big kid himself. I call him Kenny Hacker. He boxed out there, and they got the rebound. I like watching him play. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what I used to call the old Houston center Hack'em Olajuwon.
Exactly. Hey, Coach Edward wants to talk it over, and just like that, what have we got? Almost 5 minutes in, and the Chiefs have opened up a 10-point lead.
Well, just a little bit of a slow start from anything dropping for the Savages again. But again, their shot selection, if you don't come out warm and ready to hit some of these longer threes and that sort of thing, I mean, you're going to get off to a slow start offensively. And the offensive rebounding hasn't been there. The putbacks haven't been there yet. And so, that can put you in the hole right off the bat.
Well, and they have found themselves just there on the hole. Back up court goes Edwards. And Coach Edwards over there, very animated.
Nice.
Very nice play there by the cutting Hatcher.
So they drew that one up in the timeout, and it paid off there. It was good execution.
Certainly. And he didn't second guess himself there, He just cut through, took the shot, and it worked out for him.
Nice break there for the Savages on that walk.
Yeah, it was.
Oh. Is it about away from the ball there? Is that?
Yeah, it had to be. Hatcher didn't carry it. Turn around and get that defense set up because they did in their first long attempt. Not a super clean block there.
That had to be a 3-second call down here on the other end by the Savages because there wasn't any foul called. Definitely was a turnover, and I think you're correct. Hatcher did not walk, but he did not get he got a little bit of the arm on the shot down here on the other end too.
Both free throws missed. You have got to make those. Pressure's not on quite as much when you're up by 10, but nice little floater there.
We said this a lot the last time we watched a game here, or broadcast a game. Just be consistent down the court, put some points on the board, run her out. If the open shot is not there, let's take a shot inside. Try to move the ball around a little bit more, but get some points on the board.
You got time.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no rush, and they sometimes get in the habit of trying to isolate or force it, and there's no need.
Right.
We still got almost 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. And just like that, Savages are able to. They drew the foul. Looks like Overstreet drew the foul on number 24 there.
No, you cannot leave your feet. You cannot leave your feet when you're looking for a pass like that.
No, you got to have a plan the minute you come off your feet. Or before you do, really. That goes back to the Savages. Seems like the Chieftains playing a little fast and loose, which may work to the Savages' advantage.
Well, they have not put any points on the board in a couple minutes here, but Savages creeping back in here a little bit. Some points on the board this time will make a big difference.
Elbow, yeah, and it looked good, did not fall. way beyond the top of the key. That doesn't fall either. And those are the kind that just make me shake my head.
Well, one thing if you're wide open, another thing if you're contested on that shot with somebody in your
It was
face
a
a
quick
little bit.
shot. I mean, it wasn't like it was moved around and, hey, he's wide open. Your point guard's wide open. Let's get it out there to him so he can put it up. I mean, it was sort of a forced situation. And as a result, he shot that one from over there around the country club in Shawnee. Nice move by the four. Woo! By the four.
Whoop. Goodness.
Edwards goes to chuck something down court and hits the speakers overhead. If you can see him kind of.
They're swaying, yeah. They're still swaying.
So
almost took us out here up on the.
Yeah, I thought we were out of the danger zone up here. You know, after one, Savages trail by 8. It's always better not to be trailing, but there was a time there that looked like it could have been worse.
Well, they did put a few more points back on the board in that first quarter to make it respectable, but they need to, again, I'll say this again, you know, just make your trip down the floor worth it. 2 points is okay if you're doing that every time. I mean, but you're not going to stay close if you're jacking up threes and you're creating those long rebounds and they're kicking it out on a fast break or something.
Especially in the first half, you've got all the time in the world. You know, there's no need not to go down and set up your offense. I don't care if you're down by 2 points or 20 points. First half, you got time. You know, and good things rarely come out of desperation shots.
Now those are, you know, just in a super long three like that, there's nothing wrong with working the ball around a little bit more. Creating that shot is a different than just throwing it up from anywhere you are. I mean,
well, and that comes from ball movement and a movement away from the ball.
Absolutely.
It just comes from that live offense down there, and it's going to present itself. But if you, I don't know, if you show up down there and make it present itself, it's not going to work for you. Savages do have a reserve.
Good presence there to know where he was under the basket. Turn around and make that jumper.
Yes, it was. Avion Stokes has the ball at the top of the key for the Savages. I think, and I may be wrong, Joe, but I think we saw him in the JV game just a little bit ago. Overstreet picks his pocket, and he doesn't have an outlet pass. He thought he did. Turns it over and results in another 2 points for the Chieftains.
A good example of what I'm talking about, working against you there. You're getting those opportunities and you're putting those points on the board every time down the court.
Yeah, you had a good turnover there that was wasted. And those third opportunities, honestly, that's not gonna make any money.
It just goes to show you, it doesn't matter how it goes in, just the fact that it goes in.
Savages 4 and 5 position, big enough to fight for that ball down low. If you're not willing to fight for it, you're probably not going to win.
Savages on a seemingly a little faster pace than we've seen them on offensive end in the first quarter, but man, it's sure just a struggle when you're trying to get ball movement going and get some shots in there like you want to execute. I'm still not sure what the offense needs to be doing every time down the court here yet.
Well, they're not taking their time. It seems like they force it, and it's very typical of these Tecumseh Savages and Savage men. I think instead of, you can watch the Lady Savages, and they're going to let the offense come to them. The Savage men are coming to the offense. I don't know. That may sound a little silly, but it just, so many of their shots come off and appear to be forced. And like I say, they don't have to be right now.
Absolutely.
And Overstreet wants to get penetration there. He can't seem to do it yet. And that sometimes will cause a deep outside shot.
Good look there, but man.
Hatcher blocked. And one.
Yeah.
Very, very nice shot there. Just drive into the basket, and good things happen when you do.
Well, that's what you want to see. Again, dribble penetration, you're getting in there, making the defense react to that, and getting the easier shot, the easier finish, and you're going to go to the line for an extra third point here.
And again, hits his free throw. Savage is still trailing by 11. Force a turnover there. Oh. See, if he'd have turned into the goal, he'd have been so much shorter.
And that is something that fundamentally different you see in the girls and the guys here. He would have stepped in and tried to draw that contact and make the bucket. Uh-oh.
You know, that's on Hatcher. You see him down there. If you know a foul has taken place down low, but you're not 100% sure who did it, you see Hatcher standing there, you're going to call it on him. He's a big guy. I mean, it's just the way it works.
He kind of draws that attention a little bit.
He does. He does. And we've got Plumley coming back in and Jackson Martin.
Got a foul to give until we get to the bonus. Seminole a long way from the bonus yet.
Foul on Seminole, number 24. Ryan Dye.
The side out foul. That was on the floor there. It may have been away from the ball. It was on.
Yeah, he did call it on the floor. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
And so.
I'm not 100% sure what Coach Edwards said just then, but he meant it.
It was good look. Yeah, that was a good inlet pass right there. Nice job coming off the screen there to get open, find an easy jumper. Boy, back door was wide open. Oh, goodness.
That's kind of tough to watch, and, I knew, I was afraid that's the way it was going to go. And a little old, the freshman, as I refer to him, he doesn't have a whole lot of lead in his shoes yet, so a little easier to bump around, but he's going to be fun to watch when he gets, as he matures and gets a little older. Way out there, that looked. 3 attempts right there.
Well, you just cannot.
If you're getting 3 tries, you're going to win. I mean, I guess unless the other side's getting 4, but I mean, if you're getting 3 tries at the basket, you're going to outscore your opponent.
Especially when they're that close to the basket. If they're all down there underneath like that, something good's going to happen.
So Edwards is 4 for 4 here. And I knew it. 4 for 5.
I almost said prematurely he can make this a 10-point game. Now he cannot, but got stoppage here.
We got
injury timeout?
I don't know. He's kind of correcting that. Something that kid.
I mean, the shooter.
I say kid, but something the young man had done or said there, because you see, put his Hand on his shoulder and was talking to him.
And the shooter already had the ball. I was surprised they could actually blow that whistle like that, but
Should it not be out of bounds if it's the top of the backboard like that? Tie it up. And he did. Plumlee hanging on like a cat on a screen door.
Savage ball.
Overstreet's going to put one up, and it falls from 3.
it'd take about 6 more of those. Not that I want them to necessarily shoot them, but I just take the points.
Well, you know, there's a point out there when it.
Timeout on the floor. Timeout taken by.
There's a point when it's more natural, you know, or it's more forced, and that was just that was a good opportunity.
Timeout.
Now Seminole call a little bit of timeout just before they don't want Tecumseh to get on a run here. They want to shut that down and go into the half with a decent lead. They got it cut to 8 right now. The Savages do. So they just, again, execution here, working to get that right shot down there. And when we've seen Edwards come in on the dribble penetration and that sort of thing, I think it's worked really well for them, but they got to stay with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, their biggest enemy, as it has been a lot this year, is themselves.
Absolutely, you know, unforced turnovers and things of that nature. Bad shot selection has really, and the rebounding. If you're going to throw in bad shot selection, you got to talk about rebounding too. When you take those long threes, it creates long rebounds and harder to get.
No, you're absolutely right. And Savage defense tough, but they've got to work on clearing those boards, and it's out of bounds to the Chiefs.
Checking back into the ball game for the Savages. Number 25, Mark
Crush comes back in for Wharton, the freshman. And that is off of Overstreet's toe. And throw it away. Nice break for the Savages to close chance to close that lead just a little bit more. And there's still some time. They need to certainly need a run here.
Oh, boy.
That's kind of right in that one spot down there that's out of my field of view.
Well, he was a catch and shoot situation, but the problem is it was a telegraph catch and shoot situation. So the defender had a lot of time to size that up and come in and just get the ball. Sounded like he might have got more than the ball, but
We have number 10, Braylon Jefferson at the free throw line, and Kenny Hatcher subs back in for Keegan Plumlee. And he hits one of his free throws. So 9-point lead for the Chiefs.
oh, goodness.
That was, I'm sure he called glass, right?
I called bank.
There
bank.
you
Yeah.
go. Nice three-pointer as it was.
Well, even that makes it look a lot better here for the Savages going into the second half. But you can't
be so
allow
happy
that.
about that down on one end that you give it away on the other end. The Hatcher gonna go to the line?
Looks like he is. I mean, at least that was a good shot inside.
That three-pointer was from Avion Stokes, and kind of nifty to watch off the glass and kind of rolled in. Hatcher's first is up and out.
Second in the ball game for Seminole, number 24, Wyatt Giles.
Lane violation. Yep.
That's a tough break right there.
Man, the one he does hit, the lane violation on him.
Yeah.
Oh, he counted it.
Huh.
All right, we'll take it.
I guess it could have been a Chieftain lane violation.
That's true.
And you've left, big boy loose down underneath there. Dude, he's going to bulldoze you down low. Back up court goes Edwards, a little spin cycle. Does not fall. Doesn't translate to points, no matter how pretty it is. And Overstreet and company playing tough under the defensive boards. And he's going to draw a foul.
Foul called on Seminole.
It's going to be a 1-and-1.
Savages have a little chance here to kind of narrow this a little bit before the half. They need to take advantage of this possession.
21.
Drop these free throws.
Yeah, I mean, 7-point differential here. Go to 5, I mean, that's a ball game. He's going to miss his first, although Edwards gets the rebound, and I bet he steps
Oh, he's on the
out.
line.
Yep.
On the line. Good,
It's
good
tough
thought.
because he put it back in.
Yep. Oh, goodness. Not sure about that one.
Was a clean block, but they thought it was off of Hatcher, I guess, as it went out. And man, I don't know. Savage is playing pretty tough defense right now. 30 seconds left in the half, and Seminole does not have a good shot yet.
Timeout on the floor. Timeout taken by Seminole. It's a 30-second timeout.
Timeout, Chiefs.
Seminole takes that timeout, I guess, just trying to prevent.
I feel like he's getting a little out of control there.
Yeah, just they kind of need to settle things down. They were trying to play for the last shot, and they just
Didn't have the opportunity that they wanted.
nope.
Little La Bamba there.
We have covered the 80s genre very well today.
Yes.
I'll compliment Danny on that.
DJ Jazzy Dan. There's some.
Oh, I see your bank shot, and I'll take that one myself.
There you go. That's for sure. It's
Just some missed opportunities here in the first
Yeah.
half.
like I say, Savage's biggest enemy has been themselves so far. Now we look like we have Coach Gentry right down the way there. So I'm gonna stand up because I always am better on the camera when I stand up.
Oh, is that how
I
you
think,
see?
well, I don't know. I look a little slimmer standing up.
I got you. As soon as he gets here, we'll.
Nice to stretch these legs.
Interview.
And we've got Coach Gentry coming down here. I've been looking forward to this all week. Excuse me, sir. Let me do this. We're in a high traffic zone here. Coach, you there?
I am here indeed.
It is good to have you. Don't get tangled up there because we got to have you.
Well, I don't do much. I just stand there and yell.
Well, yeah, you do yell. I know that. So, I'm going to start off, and congratulations for one.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
win.
you.
40 points, roughly.
I think 43. I think
Yeah.
was the end of that. So
I lost count there
Yep.
toward the end. But, I'm going to use an old cliche that is overused, way overused a long time ago. Tale of two halves.
It was.
What in the devil?
It was. It took us a little while to get going, and then next thing I know, I think we scored 16 points in like 2 minutes to start the third quarter.
Well, and I think it was 30 points for the whole third quarter.
Third quarter.
30 to 7 is the quick
points.
math I did.
Yep.
And they look like, coming out in that second half, they look like what you would expect them to look like.
Right.
And even in
Right.
the first half, I was like not too worried. I'm like, golly, let's
Yeah.
let's do what we do here. And don't know what you said, but give us a little insight there.
Girls are such routinists. So, like, we played last night, no JV game, and then we play on a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, anything that throws them out of routine, I hate.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say, but so, I don't know. It just took us a little while to get going. Once we figured it out, calmed down, played our type of basketball, I finally got going there.
Yeah.
Once we found out, get the ball to number 11, that normally helps out pretty
Golly,
good.
what was her stats? Do you
She
know?
had 35.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And like Joe and I talk a lot, there's a couple that I think every team should game plan for. Obviously, she's one of them. I
Right.
think Barry's the other one.
Yeah.
But, if you can game plan your head off
Yeah.
for the two of them,
Well,
and
what's-
one of the other three or more,
Really
they're going to
helps
burn
us
you
is
too.
because have a girl that can score on the inside, and then Kinsley can score anywhere. Really, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. The bigger deal for us was Jock's been a little banged up. Jockaway finally got her back. She looks full health today. She's kind of as much as all that scoring, 35 points and all Kinsley does. Jockaway gets, she's got the ball in her hand so much. She's kind of what makes us go, really.
Yeah. Well, and we often say that your 1 and 2 positions
Yep.
determine the tempo.
Yeah.
It seems like,
And a lot of her stuff doesn't show up in the stat sheet that Jockaway does for us.
well, they definitely look good in that second half. Before I get too far down the road, I want to ask, we did not see Sammy Schweiger today.
She's got a little ankle problem going on right now. It's one of those deals. She could have played.
Yeah.
Um,
Did she play last night?
She did not play last night.
Okay.
Tuesday's still up in the air, but she will definitely be in attire next Friday night for that showdown with Bethel.
Good deal. Good deal. We gotta beat the dreaded Wildcats of
Yes,
Bethel.
that's so it was kind of one of those deals. I don't want to sound overconfident, but it was one of those games coming in where we weren't really thinking we were going to have her make a bunch of shots to take care of business. So
I'm telling Joe, I said, I don't know, what Coach G says to the girls when he goes in there about it, but some part of it has almost got to be, you are so much better than this.
yeah,
What
that
are
is
you
part of
doing
it.
out
Like,
there?
guys, you guys
and
are
man,
playing
I mean,
into
they
their-
hit it
that's what I told him at the end
from
of that.
get-go.
Before we came back,
half.
and I said, you guys are much better than them. Now go out there and prove me right. Go play like it.
Yeah, and they did it,
They did, exactly.
And we talk about the next man up mentality. You went deep into your bench today.
Yeah, had to.
Talk
at
about
times.
those contributions from some of the players we don't
Some
see
of
as
that
much.
is bad foul situations, but
Yeah, Barry got in foul trouble early.
I try to instill confidence. Whoever's up, you just go do your job.
Yeah.
And then you know what? We play in style like if you got an open shot, doesn't matter if you come off the bench, whatever. You take that open shot.
Yeah.
So we just fill it in and go from there.
They look good and played well today, and like I say, it's fun to watch.
It is. It is. It is. It was a good day. Now we get who knows what's going to happen next week with the ice.
Yeah,
I'm
well, that's-
hoping,
that's
fingers
true.
crossed. I hope like half the time that the meteorologists are wrong, they get it wrong, and we get to play next week, Tuesday and Friday. That Friday night game, I don't want to look past McLeod on Tuesday, but next Friday, that Bethel showdown here is a big night. It's a big night.
So now I don't know much about either one of those squads. I mean, what?
McLeod's down a little bit, but they're going to come in. They're really well coached, going to play extremely hard. Bethel is very, very good. They beat us by 30 in the finals of a tournament earlier this year.
Are you kidding me?
And ever since they beat us by 30 that night, we've had that circle day. We want that. We want that again. So
because that would be interesting to go back and look at that game because that's not the Tecumseh squad that I'm used to watching.
we're going to plan to play a whole lot better. So don't get me wrong though, they are very, very good.
Yeah.
Bethel is.
I would say, how do they match up though? I mean, that would
So
be the
athletic.
question too. So you guys are, like I said, very deep, and you've got players that can come in and
Right.
make a difference. I mean, how do you match up with them? How do they match up with you? What do you feel like the?
It just depends on the
Bethel
day. They have two girls that are phenomenal. So they beat a 63-33, and two girls had 52 of the 63.
Wow.
And by good, I don't mean they're good. They're both studs. The Stevenson girl and the McGehee girl. And we find a way to slow them down, that'll give us a chance.
Yeah.
They're very athletic, well coached. I mean, they're ranked, I think, one or two in the state in 3A right now. So, and for a reason, she does a good job, and they're really good. And we're looking forward to that, though. You know,
good.
with us beating Jones, if we take care of business like we should, the rest of the games, that Friday night game will determine the conference champion.
Absolutely. Cool. Very good.
Excellent. Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to that. Coach, it's always a pleasure. It's
Before we get out of here, I told my 5-year-old daughter
Yes.
who's at home right now because her little brother's sick that I would give her a shout out. So Kinsley Grace, if you're listening and watching, I love you very much and I miss you and I wish you could have came here today.
yes, sir, Kinsley. Hope you're feeling better.
So, all right, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate
All right, we'll
you.
see y'all.
Thanks. So right now, am I still on the air, Joe?
Yep, you are.
Let's kick it back for a minute. Let me see if I can go round up. I'm wanting to talk. I'm gonna blow the surprise. I want to talk to Coach Bullock, our head football coach, and I know, as you said, he's got a lot of fans up Cushing way. So hopefully we can get on
Absolutely.
here in a few minutes.
Well, we'll give you just a second to go round him up.
All right, thanks.
All right. Hopefully we get Coach Bullock here for an interview here in just a few minutes. We appreciate all of our sponsors, again, allowing us to bring these broadcasts to you. And I just kind of want to re-explain this program a little bit that, we also try to help, this whole program tries to help benefit the schools. And that's the way the Hub Network works, is that we give back to the school as well. And so we're going to get a chance to do that. We're going to get a chance to do that maybe here in this next few weeks and months coming up. And here is Coach Bullock. It's so good to see you, brother. I'll give you that headset right there. And hope you're doing well. Haven't got to see you much in the last little bit, but good to see you up and around.
Hey,
and,
thank you. Appreciate it.
How's your family doing? Tell everybody in Cushing how the family's doing.
They're getting better. Wife in and out right now, but man, we're going to have something great come from it. There's going to be a blessing from it.
Awesome.
We're just every day just trying to figure something out. You know how it is.
Absolutely.
Keep on going.
Exactly. Well, you just got to keep plugging forward. That's what you got to do. So,
Absolutely.
Hey, it's good to have you here today, though.
Hey,
Thanks,
you.
Coach.
Well, and I'm going to start this like I always do. You and I have spent a lot of time talking, and it is always a privilege to get a chance to talk to Coach Bull. And, especially after last season, I don't want to get too deep into it, but give us a good word about how things are going maybe the last couple of months, because you give us a scare.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Now, we were sitting up there in the bleachers, and we did not know what was going on. You and I have talked for just a second since then. But, we were all just scared, whatless, and we're glad to be talking to you today.
The truth of the story is that Coach Joe Bear tripped me, and I fell down, and then I wouldn't get back up.
Well, he's kind of shifty like
he's
that.
Very shifty. No, it was a well, I like to say it made me put my priorities in line a little bit.
Absolutely.
When you're a football coach, you kind of put football above everything. And if you talk to any head football coach, that's kind of how it happens during the season. I was feeling good. I've been to the heart doctor. They gave me a clean bill of health. They said, hey, you're better now than you were 2 years ago. I've had some brain things done, and that looked good. I don't know what it was, and we're still in some processes with some different doctors, but you know what? Testament to my assistant coaches, because I've been a coaching football for 21 years, and as an assistant, I never had to get put into that role. And those guys on that staff, Coach O'Bear, Piercy, Wright, McNutt, and Mars, stepped in and did what they could. Now, I hadn't watched a game from the bleachers in a long time, and I will never, ever do that again. So
it's a whole different world.
It's a whole different world. But, man, I'm feeling good. We're in off-season right now. Kids are working hard, and looking forward to next year.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my next question. I know you've got a lot of young men that are, you've got some wrestlers, you've got some basketball players. What are you doing with the other guys? Like weightlifting? What are you doing in the off-season?
We're in off-season. We do competitions. We do some powerlifting at some meets, but pretty much it's us getting after it for an hour and 40 minutes a day. And then I have a weight class that has a bunch of the multi-sport athletes in there, and they're doing the same thing. So our school's done a great job of trying to promote strength and conditioning, and man, that's what we're at right now.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you've got it well under control, and again, it is tremendous to be here talking with you. We've got basketball back live right now. So
hey, they were giving me
tell me
heck
about some of these
because
guys.
see number 33 from Seminole?
Uh-huh.
That was me in high school right there. Not even going to lie to you. I could shoot it up, dribble.
Yeah.
I just didn't look the part to the compared basketball player.
I told Joe a little bit ago, I said, man, how would you, and I said, take a lot of courage to plant yourself and wait for him to charge you.
Oh, he's a starting linebacker,
yeah.
man, and he was really,
he looks
good.
like a linebacker.
He's good. And you can tell how athletic he is right now. So
yeah, he definitely is now at 44. Do you know anything about him?
He's young. I don't think he plays football, but
looks good.
I bet they would like him to play football. Looking at him from
he's He won't be denied if he sets his mind to it, certainly. So, well, Coach, I appreciate you tremendously. It's always good to see you out. And like I say, it's a special treat to be able to talk to you,
Sir.
you know, ever.
Hey, we're going to have to get some
especially now.
play-by-play one of these days. When I was young, I was little Dick Vitale, so if
Oh, yeah,
we
there
need
you
to
go.
do this, we
Hey.
can do it one of these days.
Hey,
Anytime,
I tell you what,
man.
anytime you want to do that, you let us know. 'cause
Okay, I
we'll put
will.
you- but hey, I want to tell you thank you very much, Coach, because you're a big reason why. You are the reason why we're down here,
I appreciate you guys.
You've paved the way for that, and so we thank you for that. And want you to know, anytime you want to come up and occupy the booth, you're more than welcome.
All right.
Yeah, you know, Joe, you can say what you want, but you still ain't getting him back.
Well, no, I give it up. I give my seat up.
They will
willingly
get
for Coach Bull. Yeah.
they will get Coach Bull when they prime from our cold dead hands.
Well, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you very much. Yeah, absolutely.
That's always fun. Like I said, I talked to him a lot during football season, and he's just he's an easy interview. Of course, it's a little bit different interviewing a football coach during a basketball game, but I can shoot him a question, he can talk about it, and he's easy to talk to.
Well, the thing about it is he's looking at all these guys down here on the court as athletes, and he's kind of giving you some insight of, that guy ought to really be a football player, and sometimes some of these basketball players act like they still are on the gridiron themselves, but
Yeah.
no, you size these guys up, always looking at their athletic ability and what they can do to improve and play any of these sports, especially in smaller town sports like Tecumseh and Cushing and that sort of thing. So,
Well, you take and several of these guys out here. I know Plumley, Crush, and I'm missing some of them. I know, but they are football players, and he's got some football players that wrestle. And like you say, in these smaller towns, they're multi-sport athletes. A lot of them are. Take back to the Lady Savages. Jockaway, I mean, we love to watch her play basketball, but she is a flat star playing fast-pitch softball. And let me tell you, if you have not watched the Lady Savage fast-pitch softball, you're missing out because they and I've told Coach Trahan several times, and he and I go back. We went to graduate high school together, and we go all the way back. And I've told him, I said, if they had a Mount Rushmore of coaching here at Tecumseh, your head would have to be on it. And so they have a good program. And unfortunately for us, it's during football. But so I don't get to pay as much attention as I would like to. But, multi-sport athletes, if she's going to be the star she is in softball, she's going to give it her all in the other opportunities of other sports as well. So
absolutely. Well, and glad that you mentioned that because we are going to pick up some softball this year. Several of the home softball games, we're going to cover those. So you'll be seeing some of those people. It is slow pitch.
Yeah.
I'd like to cover more fast pitch. Maybe we'll get around to that next year, but we need to kind of reorganize ourselves in order to get that done correctly. So just a word to all the viewers that we appreciate all of those, and all the sponsors, of course, we appreciate all of those. We're going to be doing a little bit more of that as we go on down the road this spring. So.
Well, I look forward to that. Talking about the viewers, I especially would like to thank the ones that tuned back in after they thought that we were maybe not going to be here today. So it's a great day.
Yeah, it was, sometimes we just can't control everything that
Now,
getting set up for these, and we had absolutely zero internet connection. And Dr. Kinsey came and fixed it. So big shout out to him. And
yeah,
he's
he's a good dude. Again, we go back to T-Towners. He was born black and gold, and he'll go out that way. So, and
I'll tell you, he had no problem getting on a ladder and doing what he needed to do to get us up and running, and he did that.
That's what the great leaders do.
Absolutely.
So certainly like to thank him for that. We got a Chieftain at the line, and it looked like that foul was on Plumley, and that's his fourth.
Checking back into the ballgame for Tecumseh, number 33, Kenny Hatcher.
We got Mr. Hatcher back out. Savages have stuck to within 10 points here.
They did.
11 now. But
this is not out of reach at all, but the Savages need to buckle down and just execute a little bit of offense here on this side of the court.
Well, they've been outplayed, and they're not winning, but it's still totally, they shift gears now and do what they can do, and they've got a great shot. And we've got Got a substitution getting ready to happen here. Overstreet's at the line. Looks like Stokes is getting ready to come in. So Overstreet hits his first, and he's going to sub in for the freshman, Warden. And hits a second. I don't know. They were within 7. Were the Savages within 7 a little bit ago, or 6 or 7?
Well, we did, yeah, it was down to 7 or 8. Yeah, 7, I think it was. And Seminole got it back to 10 just before half, but they're hanging in there right now.
And nice outside shot rather by the number 5 shot. Or a slot rather. Let me look and see what their center's name is. I've looked at it, and it looks like Stokes paid it right back.
Well, those shots certainly make it look good and get things a lot closer. We just need to be consistent with some scoring, working the ball around.
Well,
you know, execution on ball movement down here.
It's Shalimar Stevens is their center. It's it's again cliched, but if you live by the jump shot, you're going to die by the jump shot. And I don't see how Hatcher made too much contact on that.
Well,
that was fairly clean.
It was pretty clean. He was trying to go straight up in the air. Was still leaning into him, I think, just a little bit, but got called for the foul. That's 3 on him, and
that's tough because I'm not familiar with the depth chart for center.
Yeah,
there's still quite a little bit of ball left. He's going to miss both of his shots.
You got some younger guys that are pretty good size over there, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. Oh, nice little floater there, kind of flat by Crush, and it rolls out. Is that Hatcher again? He's that was on Crush. I think Hatcher standing there with both arms up like, he expected it to be called on him.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, might as well. It's me.
He has 3 fouls already, so we don't really need him with anymore,
we
is it?
do not. And that's only number 2 on Crush there, so. First one rims out. Second one does also. You got to have your hands on. I thought they were going to give that rebound up there for a minute.
Stokes fouled. Oh.
Yes. Did he get a foul? He sure did.
Yeah, and that's going to be 3 shots. Too bad that one wouldn't have dropped in there. That would have
full-point play would have been pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. He was in a pretty awkward position when he took that shot, but
so he missed the first one. And I'm seeing here that Stokes is a freshman. I didn't realize he was that young. Missed the second one. Come on, man.
Boy.
Somebody's going to be shooting free throws tomorrow.
I tell you, how many times in basketball commentary do you say you just got to make your free throws? I mean,
there's a stigma, there, and he made the third one. So that goes, I guess, with the free throw line, but it's, they call it the charity stripe for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to take advantage of that just like anything else in this game. And that's going to be tough defense there, but they got back. Oh. And they got an unforced turnover there, so a walk.
Yeah. Nice break for the Savages, trailing by 7. So, like you say, sticking around, it certainly, can be a ball game here. And the last time we were here, we went into overtime.
That's right.
Against Noble Bears.
Oh, the back door there. Better movement away from the ball. That's good by the Savages.
Oh man. Got to pull it down, and they do not.
Well, I think, boy, we're just missing some opportunities there on offense. The cutters and those other shots, if we just work through those progressions a little bit.
You got to chase those rebounds down. And stripped was Edwards, and
Well, he wanted some contact and a whistle, but he's not going to get it.
it's not going to do anything but hurt your guys on defense if you're staying down the other end of the court. I mean, I'm sure it kind of stung, but, man, you got to move on. Nice shot there by Overstreet. Got Warden getting ready to come in. I wonder who he's going to sub for. They may sub him in for Edwards for a minute. Well, that was quite a sequence of events there.
A lot of flying around, bodies hitting the floor, a lot of stuff going on down there in
Yeah.
that possession. But
A lot of floor burns on that end, on that possession. Nice. So the Savage is back within 5. It's about as close as.
this is why 2 points are important. You got to keep working at it. You got to keep working at it down here consistently. Put points on the board. That is squarely going to put Seminole some pressure back on them because they're not playing a great game either offensively.
No, they're really not. Free throws, free throws, free throws. We could have a tie game at this point. Got his own rebound and a putback. That's after 3 here. And Savages trail by 7 after coming within as close as 5. And we've got one more here to go here in T-Town. What do you think, Joe? Another overtime situation?
Well, you know, we hope you don't get into those situations. I mean, the last time we looked at that, that was a kind of a miracle shot at the end there that caused that overtime situation. Yeah. And just a little bit of continued defense may have disrupted that shot, but it's one of those that went in. There's nothing you can do about it, but you got to suck it up and play the overtime then. But I really don't think the Savages want to get into that situation again. If you can just win it outright, let's win it outright.
It 100% would be. And like I say, they're within 7.
Well, this is very
close enough. It's striking distance.
Very much a winnable game for the Savages, but my goodness, they've just got to consistently put some points on the board. And at this point, I don't really care. I mean, hit some free three-pointers, do something, but you got to do it consistently, whatever you're doing. So. Let me just offer some more commentary on the music selection that we've obviously departed from the 80s.
That's within the last decade.
Well, okay.
I don't know. Is that like the White Stripes or something like that? I can't think of who that is.
No, it's not in my genre. I couldn't tell you, Jeff.
I played it on the PA during the Little League. I just can't think of what it is.
Good defense
nice
there.
Defense, yeah. Nice clean block. They've got Warden bringing it back up court.
Boy, you got to go.
That's got to be Savage ball. Nice.
He should be at the line.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Has to be going to the line. But he's not. Was that on the floor? They call that on the floor?
I thought that was on the block.
Well, maybe it was. Boy. Wow. That exchange, I don't understand there, but.
Nice cut there by Edwards.
5 points again.
Got to play some defense here. If they can get a stop or two, they've got a great opportunity. And there's still tons of time. You know, and that's 2 on Warden. They're calling some fouls today that I just am not seeing.
Well, they need to take advantage of this right here, this possession. Oh, there's a good. Yes.
See, you know, Edwards down there calling for the ball. Good eye.
Yes.
And nice kind of threaded the needle up there because he passed it through traffic.
Absolutely. That was a good sequence, good fast break point. Bucket for the Savages. And again.
Got to follow those up with some stops as they have.
So another opportunity here. Could tie it up.
Savages within 3. Absolutely tie it up here. But there's plenty of time, and it doesn't have to be that way, so don't feel like you've got to take a 3-point shot. Everything but the finish, yes.
Got it.
Got crushed, I think.
Crush still down.
Yeah, he got hit below the belt as nearly as I can tell there. And that's rough. That is certainly a tough blow.
That one. Tough one to take there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Like Edwards got his hand on the inbounds pass, but still able to move it around enough to get a clear shot and put some points on the board. Freshman takes a shot from deep, and it was that's out on Seminole. You can't even argue that. Clearly out on Jefferson.
Well, good opportunity here for lucky break actually for the Savages, but yeah, the freshman took that 3-point shot with 2 guys right in his face, and of course it was short. That's a tough shot.
Yeah, you can't. Man, you just can't really justify those. And Plumlee's going to go to the free throw line. I always kind of cringe when I see a center going to the free throw line.
Well, no free throw is guaranteed, and there's certainly a little bit less than that sometimes when your center goes. And
I don't know what the deal is, but it just holds true. Savages trail by 5. There's 5 minutes to go. And hits a second one, so Chieftains have numbers and shoot it right over Plumley. Coach Edward was doing absolutely everything in his power to get the timeout, and looks like he was rewarded for his efforts, but that was tough.
Well, let's see what he draws up here in this timeout, and he's going to retain possession here, which is obviously what you want to do, but you need to, most important thing here, put points on the board and keep this within a very, very manageable deficit here in the last few minutes of this game so you can pull it out here.
Savages back out on the floor. Got Overstreet throwing it in. Let's see what they've got drawn up here. Into Plumley.
Just no movement. Just no movement.
I thought that was a little strong, but it bounced in. And that's what you want. And like I say, there's been nice if they'd have been a little more movement, but wound up working.
Back to 4 points here, but
and that's going to be tough because that might be 5 on Plumley.
is that
Nope, it was on Stokes. And Jefferson hits his first. And second was well, so he gets both of them. Stokes gets fouled again.
boy? Well, here's your opportunity to rectify last time you were to the line. Let's
And that's 5 on him. That's
Seminole 39. Is that right? 30. Sorry, 33. What is it?
yep, 33.
33. Yeah.
That is Miguel Conley.
Well, Tecumseh now in the bonus too, so. Well, you need to see these. Well, this would be good
Yeah.
to get all 3 of these.
You absolutely do. It's his first 2. Hits all 3 of them.
All right, you got a 3-point game now, so 1 possession game. Oh, look at that. Oh. Gonna get the foul.
Nope,
Now, wait a minute, he called a foul or just a?
I thought it was just out of bounds.
Boy.
Just out of bounds.
No foul on that, a clean block, so.
Savages maintain possession, and they get to set up an offense here. Maybe
Come on,
a
gotta
good
get it
inbounds
in.
play. A wild pass there by Edwards.
I mean, got to get up. Cannot.
Unfortunately, a wasted possession there.
Boy, a couple of opportunities there.
You still got time. I mean, you still have 3.5 minutes. It's not like there's 30 seconds to go, and you got to force something if it doesn't happen. Or if it doesn't present itself.
Good defense here. And
you don't want to waste another timeout on that. The arrow goes to Seminole, I believe.
well, defense is the name of the game right now. Good, clean defense. Block out, keep them off the boards.
I tell you what, there's a lot of whistle here today. Lots of whistle.
Boy, that was a tough foul right there, in my opinion. I mean, just barely got some of that.
That was about as ugly a free throw as you're going to see.
Yeah,
but it went in.
It did go in. It doesn't matter how it goes in. It just matters that it goes in.
It does not. Savages trail by 6 again.
Uh, 3-second call. So a break for the Savages there. It gets out of that possession without any points for Seminole.
Been a little wild here the last few minutes.
Boy, you've got to execute on the offensive end of the court.
Yeah, they're just absolutely a throwaway there.
Not only thought he walked there, but
that was absolutely a horrible call. I think that is 5. No? Yeah. He's going to have to put somebody else in.
boy.
I didn't think he was going to there for a minute.
He may have been trying to kind of slow that down just a little bit, just take some time.
Tecumseh going to play some small ball. You got to know better than a foul like that.
Boy, that was not a strategic foul at all.
No, it was not. That was just clear reach. There's got to be a handful on him. It says only 3, but man, I thought it was more than that.
Well, in the bonus, so they're going to be 1-on-1 for sure, and then going to be in the double bonus here. After the next foul, but important to get every point out of these you can right now.
Well, you got to.
And he does, so. Oh, look. Oh, don't.
Nice hustle there by Edwards.
We wanted contact on that shot, didn't get the call. Oh, my goodness. Wow. And they called a foul on that.
You know, you don't see that many fouls called like that in high school, you know, 3-point shots. And we've seen, what, 3 of them here in this game, I believe.
Boy, come on now.
Misses the first, hits the second. This would put the Savages within 5, and he's going to miss that one, but they're going to pull down the rebound. And
boy,
made it up. Nice rebound and put back there by Edwards.
Best case scenario out of that deal.
Yes.
Oh, I know. Here's your opportunity right here. And they do it.
Savages within 2.
Got to hustle back. Oh. Well, you found the big guy, so your hope here is that you.
That's true. If you're going to have to foul somebody,
Yeah.
it's going to want to be him.
Yeah, well, that's. You're hoping he shacks a couple of these.
Right. Let's look back again and see what his last name is, see if I can. Hacka Stevens just doesn't have the same ring as Hacka Shack.
Oh, there's a rebound. Okay. Now, shot selection here, you've got to really.
And you got time.
You do. You can run your offense. I couldn't see what happened right there.
He just threw it out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness.
Savages come to within 2. Now we've got a timeout by Seminole, full timeout. Golly, you got to play some tough, smart defense, and if you foul anybody, it needs to be Stevens.
Yeah, they're in the double bonus too, so they're going to get 2 shots for every foul now on the way out here, and Savages in the bonus as well, but 2 fouls away from the double bonus. But you know, you cannot throw the ball away like that. You've got to maximize the possession. It's
that
plain
was
and simple.
Perfect opportunity to come, you know, to bring it to a tie. And I saw Edwards look out there, and it was clearly off. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you, because I don't know who the intended receiver was, but he was not there.
Well, you got to play tough defense here. You really don't need to foul. I mean, unless it's just a guaranteed basket. You know, maybe you could challenge that, but still got a minute 16 left, a little bit of time. But you're going to have to make some strides on the offensive side and get some shots that you want to get, not just throwing stuff up. You're gonna.
I mean, you still got over a minute. Little Twisted Sister there.
And we're back to the 80s playlist.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. So 53-51, Chieftains lead. Got a minute to go, just a little over a minute. And layup, just a little short, little finger roll. And it falls short, so Savages certainly have an opportunity here.
So again, Seminole leaving the door open here.
They call that a moving screen.
Oh my goodness,
that's good.
And you're going to get 2 shots on that.
Well,
what? No?
I mean, it had to be a moving screen.
Was it a foul or was it a foul? Still another opportunity here. Guys, just not strategic at all.
No, bad shot selection there. Finally got the foul down way down there and foul the wrong guy, but foul the only guy they could have maybe.
That's going to be 2 shots. Well, I don't know how many chances you can give the Savages to come down and.
So Coach Edwards calls a timeout here. It's a tough deal. You've got 16 seconds left. They're up by 3. 4 pending the last
Free throw.
or the next free throw. Thing of it is if he doesn't make the second free throw, they don't have to take a desperation shot. Of course, it's probably going to need to be a 3, or at least draw the foul. I would go down and drive to the bucket and see if I could draw a foul.
Well, I tell you, and you haven't seen. We said it earlier tonight. You haven't seen this too often, but been fouled on 2 3-point attempts, and you
I
had
think
2
it's been 3.
or maybe 3. Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
so, and that's crazy. You don't see that in high
No,
school.
maybe once, or never twice, and never 3 times for sure. So,
No.
the Savages are going to have to come down and throw one of those up. Now, the good news about that, they've been doing it all night, so maybe one's due to go in.
Maybe
that
so.
might be the best side of it, but man, when
So-
it comes down to that sort of thing, you just, gosh,
Second free throw here is
No
huge.
good.
Savages pull it down.
here we go. And they
Give it
give
away.
on an exchange.
And it goes to the Savages.
That is crazy.
Yes, it is.
That exchange should not be contested like that. Pull the ball back, look inside.
Golly.
Man,
5.5 seconds, and they've got to score 3 points.
it's almost as though they've willed themselves to be into a 3-point shot here at the end. Almost into this situation for sure.
What would be fantastic is to hit a 3-point shot and draw the foul and win it with
And
a
win
free
the
throw.
game, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a conspiracy theory kind of guy as well?
Oh, yeah. Most of them come true.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Oh. You scared me there for a minute. She unplugged a phone charger back there. I thought it was one of our cords. I was like,
no. Almost wouldn't surprise me today, but
no. You know, it's worked out pretty well, though,
it has.
all things considered.
Absolutely. Well, the good news here, Savages have the ball. They have control, so they can set up for a shot. They took the timeout. It's a little bit of a desperation shot, but you got 5 seconds, almost 6 seconds.
What if you get about halfway up court and somehow figure out how to draw a foul on a 3-point? You know, you could shoot it from anywhere as long as it's inbounds if you can draw the foul. It doesn't have to be a smart shot. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And why start now is what I would say. Why would we want to start with that now?
Yeah, there's no need to take a smart shot now.
But
into the freshman. He's going to drive it up court pretty fast. He's going to
you got to put it up. Almost not in time. He wasn't in time.
No.
Boy, poor clock management.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, it's another heartbreaking loss for the boys here. I'm going to ask you a question here, and I don't know the answer either, so don't feel bad, but what is the record this year?
For fouls on 3-point shots? Or no?
That may be 3, and we may establish that today. Sometime back, a week or so ago, they only had 2 or 3 wins.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've
I think it said 4, and they were 4 and 12 coming into this game, so now they're
it's tough.
5 and
Or 4 and 13.
yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, and it's tough because they, I feel like they're working some things out, but we're fairly deep into the season now.
Yeah, and that was a better. Overall, the scoring wasn't as slow, that sort of thing. There were some bright spots in there, but boy, it's got to really come together here in the next few games to get some traction.
You know, Joe, when I was growing up, it always made me mad. Of course it would, but when the people say, "Oh, girls mature faster than boys," I tell you what, I know that's true, but if you don't believe that still, you would after watching a couple of a couple of these games, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes or anything, but that Lady Savages team, very well-oiled machine, very mature basketball. I mean, they're just good. They're just really, really good.
They are, and we'll have a chance to see them. We're going to be, next Friday, I think we decided, is the next home game?
Yeah.
And we got a couple more home games right after that, too.
Yeah. So, well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad we finally got to go on the air today, and it's a lot of fun here. You get your money's worth.
Absolutely. Jeff, thank you again. You got to close us out here real quick?
As always, for all of our sponsors, guys, I appreciate it immensely. My lovely wife and fellow Savage back home, Brooke, I love you. You make all the difference in the world. Joe, thanks for having me, man. It's a lot of fun.
Glad to have you.
Brandon, my middle son, our door's always open. You're not going to have to work 2 jobs to pay the rent at our house, and you're not going to have to schedule a time to come visit us. We're always there. I'm Jeff Thompson. I'm going to say so long for now. Don't just have a great night, afternoon. Have a Savage afternoon. You've been listening to Tecumseh Savage Basketball on the Hub